and brought them here, put them in the Wayne County jail. The plan was a boat would come up the Detroit River. These two, Thornton and Ruthie, we put on that boat, take them down to Ohio, get off the boat, put them in a wagon, and wagon them on down back to Kentucky. Where they'd be back on the plantation. Ruthie would be sold down to New Orleans as a fancy woman for sexual slavery. Two black women found out what happened, that these two people had got arrested. Two black women. So understand that the black community was created in Detroit, was created by two black women. And these two, this loving couple who escaped here. So these two black women found out about it and said, we got to do something about this. I know we scared, we don't want to get put back in slavery, I know all of that, but we cannot let them do this. Because if they do this now, they'll come into our community any other day they want to and grab whoever. And how many black people living among us are really escaped from slavery? They'll just be catching everybody. We got to stand up for something. They have a meeting. 13 black people led by these two women who organized this meeting. Caroline French and Tabitha Lightfoot. These are the two black women. Caroline French and Tabitha Lightfoot. And they come up with a plan to respond to what just happened. Thornton and Ruthie being captured and being held in the Wayne County jail. So they come down to visit Ruthie Blackburn. They come and visit Ruthie Blackburn. All right? And the sheriff lets them go into the cell to visit her. And Caroline French switches clothes with Ruthie Blackburn. Ruthie Blackburn walks out with Tabitha Lightfoot after visiting hours are over. Walks out with Ruthie, with Tabitha Lightfoot, gets on the boat and goes to Canada, and she's free. It's 1833, slavery just ended in Canada. So she goes over to Canada and she's free. The next morning, Caroline French hollers out, hey, Sheriff, hey, I'm Caroline French. I'm free. You gotta let me go. I switch clothes, you know, all black people look alike. So I switch clothes with Ruthie Blackburn and you let Ruthie go. And I'm free, you gotta let me go. The slave catchers say, if you switch places with her, you're gonna switch places with her. We're gonna sell you. We're gonna take you back and we're gonna sell you. Thornton wasn't allowed visitors, so nobody switches with him. But so they're gonna take they're gonna take Caroline French in her stead. And Caroline French is like, I don't think you're gonna do that. I don't think you wanna do that. They step out of the Wayne County jail. It's 1,000 black people out here with bats, sticks, knives, swords. Some got guns, some got rocks, some got everything you could think of outside. Ain't no Facebook, no Twitter, no Instagram. White folks don't know. So white folks ain't down here helping, it's just black folks.
What year was this?
1833. You got the sheriff, right, the deputy, standing where I'm standing. The sheriff, the deputy, and 2 slave catchers. That's it. 4 people, 4 white folks, 1,000 black people. And they let Caroline French go. Wow. Caroline French gets on the boat too and goes to Canada just because you never know till all this stuff blow over. But now the slave catchers are still gonna try to take Thornton to the river. Because they get no money if they come back empty-handed. They don't get no bounty, nothing. If the slave catcher come back with nothing, they don't get no money. So all the money they spent to transport here, they paid the 2 deputies, they don't get none of that back from the slave owner if they don't bring back nobody. So they're gonna try to go through this crowd. And they do, they try to go through this crowd. And the crowd, of course, it's not about to let this go down.
They tried to go in there and get him, huh?
Right. So they come out with a wagon, put Thornton in the wagon, and try to take that wagon through this crowd to the river. And the crowd, of course, starts getting boisterous and starts doing stuff and starts saying, oh, y'all about to die, and all this kind of stuff. And Thornton Blackburn inside the wagon says, we're gonna all get killed. They're not gonna stop because of y'all. Let me talk to them. And it's the only way we're gonna live. The deputy is scared out of his mind. The 2 slave catchers, they still want to try to get them because they ain't gonna get no money. And they think, with their guns that they can ward off the crowd, but the deputy is he's scared for his life. So the deputy says, come on, he pulls Thornton up. He pulls Thornton up and lets Thornton talk to the crowd. Thornton says, of course, the people can't hear. They're like, y'all can't hear me. So what does the crowd do?
Got quiet.
Close. And the crowd can't hear. They get closer. And Tabitha Lightfoot's husband, Madison Lightfoot, passes Thornton. They get close enough, pass him a gun. Nah, brother got a gun. He not talking. He talking, y'all better let me go before I kill everybody. And it's melee. The slave catchers are just shooting. The people throwing rocks. The sheriff gets hit with a stick or a rock and falls and busts his head on the ground. He dies. I mean, this is big history that none of us was taught in school in Detroit public school. The sheriff gets killed at this, basically a slave revolt in Detroit, right here. Sheriff gets killed. He don't die right then. He's unconscious then. He dies a few days later. He dies days later from the wounds here. But he don't get back up. That's it for him. The rest of his life, he don't get back up no more, ever. He dies some days later, but from what happened here. The deputy, he lost it. Because he was already scared. So he gone. He out of this. I'm out this. He gone. So it's the slave catchers still trying to, while they trying to fight off the crowd, they grab Thornton. The crowd grabbed Thornton. A wagon was purchased by John Wilson, the black boss barber. A boss barber was a black barber who cut both white and black hair, which is what most black barbers did in the 1800s. They cut both black people hair and white people hair. And many became wealthy from that. And cutting hair ain't just, a little hobby. You got rich from that. He bought the wagon that helped. He didn't participate in the revolt, but he bought the wagon that transported Thornton Blackburn. They took him off the slave catcher wagon, put him on their wagon, and rolled him to the river and got him on a boat. He goes to Canada. He meets back up with his wife, and they freed together, back together, husband and wife.
Wow. Shero and hero.
They moved to Toronto, which is a town, but becoming a big town. And they see what's happening. Man, this place getting big. Things about to jump off up here. And they start the first taxi cab company in Toronto. Not the first black taxi cab company, the first taxi cab company, period. Nobody else has started one in Toronto. They started and become wealthy landowners in Toronto.